Let's bring them up real quick. Welcome to No Fugazi Podcast. We got Dane Snyder and Witkid Dreams. Let's give you one question apiece. Let's start with Witkid because I seen you backstage first.
All right. So just a quick question. You know that the Bible does allow divorce, according to God, if there is sexual immorality and abandonment?
Oh yeah. That's sin right there. That's a contract broken. That's
okay. But you just said that God doesn't allow divorce, and then now you're like, well, yes, I agree with that. He does allow divorce,
unless you commit adultery.
Okay,
that's a sin. You broke the contract, so that person is allowed to get a divorce. Yeah.
But you started off your point with you're not allowed to have divorce, and you said God doesn't allow divorce. And now that I bring up a point that God allows divorce, you're saying that I'm right. So I'm really confused on where your stance is right now.
Man, I was just trying to find an argument with Fugazi, man.
Is he saying he trolling us?
I agree with a lot of stuff, y'all. Y'all be on point with a lot of stuff, so it be factual.
So would you say that if one person is doing all the work in the marriage and the other person is not, and they're just kind of, sucking off that other person, would you say that's valid for a divorce?
No, you gotta stay in that situation. Then you chose
Why?
That person.
Well, you chose that. But isn't that abandonment?
You chose that person. You gotta stick with that person.
I didn't ask you that question. I asked you if someone is not applying to the contract of the vows and they're not doing their end. Is that abandonment?
What version of doing their end you talking about? They don't feel loved at that moment, or they looking outside?
No, none of their duties, none of their marital duties.
Oh yeah, then I agree to the divorce. Yeah.
So that's three things that you've contradicted yourself on. Okay, Dane, on to you.
Don't hold up. I mean, don't give up, Marcus. Don't just fold like that. Don't let Wicked Dream drag you around by the no hair of your head, man.
Hey, like I said, I agree with a lot of stuff Fugazi say. It's a lot of fact over emotion.
So I was
trying to find something.
It was just about
on the podcast.
It was just about a week or so ago that I was on a panel over on Speakeasy with this similar question. And the question there was, if your wife cheats on you, like even just one time, is it okay to just go ahead and divorce her? And where I came down on that, because this is a complicated issue. I mean, Wicked and Cooley knows this, but I've been married. April will be 35 years. See, so I probably made more mistakes in my marriage than most folks have even tried to do stuff. So it is a complex, kind of nuanced subject. But I'm of the old school of thought. See, that I thought you were going to hold up for before you folded like a cheap Bedouin tent in a stiff breeze on me. See, I came here to kind of hold up for you a little bit, but then you went and hid, man. Oh, I guess the tattoos on Wicked over there scared you or something, man. But I mean,
is this one less scary? Here, I'll go to this side.
No. Hey, I'll be watching Will's kid too. He be on point. So hey.
No, but my thing is this. Like, if my wife were to cheat on me, and I'm talking about if I found out she cheated one time or something. I mean, how many times is too much? That really gets complicated. But if I found out she cheated on me, she broke her marriage vow. But that don't mean that the promise I made, that I get to then turn around and go back on my vow. Because my position is, I took a promise for better or worse. When worse comes, what I'm going to do? But I mean, what Cooley brings up is a good example. Like, well, what about, your daughter or whatever is just getting beat around, choked down, that kind of stuff. So, I mean, that is a valid question, and it complicates it. But then my response, my argument then would be, well, there are other things that woman can do to protect herself and her family, naming her father. Let me find out somebody black in my daughter's eye, right? Okay, I'm a redneck, man. I ain't afraid to go to jail if I have to. But I'm saying, and used to back in the day, that happened. Back when you had a more masculine culture, and that woman showed up with a big shiner on her eye or a split lip or something, that daddy and them brothers, they could load up and go issue some justice. But they say you can't do that nowadays because we're civilized. But I mean, when you get into that, what are you gonna do? And what I
so the vows these days don't mean nothing. Do worse.
Well, essentially what Dane is saying, which I would agree with, and I see you back there, Backy Black. I see you back there, and Herb. Turn on your camera, but Backy Black, you're up next, and Herb, you're up right after him. But what Dane is essentially saying here is, it's unique consequences. Like, if there's gonna be,
I'll be right back.
If sin is going to take place, like adultery, abuse, things like that, it needs to be consequences. It needs to be shame, because that's the only thing that can change the behavior. And then, but this would be that consequence and that shame, or that, reaction to whatever bad thing happened. This would be the change. Like, and hopefully, the husband that was abusing her would change. Hopefully that the woman that committed adultery would see how shameful it is and see that it's not good, and she would change her behavior. But without that, like, basically we can't put any consequences on adultery. The only consequences there is in modernity is like, bro, your wife cheated on you, is to leave her.
That's it. But it's so quick nowadays, Cooley, that like whether it's adultery or some other issue, a spending problem or something, that they can just go down there. It's easier to get divorced nowadays than it is to get out of a credit card contract or a cell phone contract.
Yeah.
So like, what I recommend people do sometimes, used to a generation ago, before you got divorced, you had to be separated for a period of time, like a year, 2 years, 3 years or something. And during that period of time, if y'all came together and had sex, then your separation time started over. You see what I'm saying? I mean, so there's different things. Like I was saying on that panel I was on, I said, she can move across the hallway or whatever. Y'all can be in 2 different bedrooms. And say, like, if she cheated on you or something, you might say, okay, well, we stepping back. There's some loss of some privileges here.
Yeah. Basically, to see if things can be reconciled. But good conversation, gentlemen. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to move on and bring some more people up. But Dane and WitKid, stay tuned. As things, maybe get heated, I'll bring you guys back up.
Oh, I'm going to stay.
All right, Marcus. Appreciate it.